Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to this new video. Today we officially start the bench modifications for Davide's Honda CBR 650R new. A new Tune It Up series episode tackled from Emoto Garage with National Robertone. Good morning.
Hello guys.
How are you?
Feeling absolutely great.
Are you pumped up?
Let's drop it.
Listen, I don't want to know anything, but today we have a lot of unpacking to do.
Again,
we have a lot to unpack, but above all, a lot of things to assemble. However, I think that since I see the bike already installed on the bench test, that we will go first as usual, as we have accustomed them to test the bike. In the configuration,
the classic before and after, we do it by default also on all the customers who come here. The before and the after always.
there is something different since the guys still know, because we told them that the bike comes already mapped with exhaust and filter.
But no, then different. I still don't actually know what the modifications are. But in the end, we don't even care, in the sense that now we bench the bike because the bike is mapped for the configuration. So with the complete MIB and the air filter, then we will put it in comparison with the other product.
We'll soon have to be careful about what we tell you.
In fact, I was looking at you because I said, do I say it or do I not say it?
If you've seen the first season of Tune It Up, you can imagine the other product, but new exhaust, so new mapping.
Exactly dedicated.
The filter remains unchanged. The old mapping will be deleted.
Let's put the original bike file back here. This will be the starting point for development as we do daily.
So launch finished. Let's see together with Roberto what came out with the bench bike.
So, this is the power curve and the bike has delivered exactly 86.6 horses to the wheel. Remember that these are horses in quotes, those available when using the vehicle. So it's not power declared by the parent company because that is power detected at the shaft.
This is the power, the horses to the wheel.
Actual. This is a brake bench and therefore the brake. The software algorithm takes into account the air resistance, the weight of the vehicle, all the various frictions and the dispersion that is generated due to the transmission, and the unsprung masses. So the actual available power is 86.6. Let's take a look at the torque curve, and here we have this other very nice regular situation with 6.5, so 6.5 kilogram meters.
So Robbie, after the bench launch, the moment you've been waiting for has arrived.
The unboxing.
Let's unbox what we're going to install. The main component, the protagonist of this episode, which also this time turns out to be
Spark.
complete, which Roberto will soon show you and install.
So let's start with the main piece, which is the silencer. Obviously here we are talking about high-level titanium material. Look how beautiful.
Silencer grido, grid dasho, that however in Italian to simplify we will call silencer grido. And this alone could give you an idea of the noise level, just like Giacomo's.
It's true. This sounds on a 4 in line. So nice. Anyway, here we have all the various small collectors, all nice, welded to perfection. I'm a bit of a fan of this kind of welding, especially sparks, because they are really very beautiful. At this point, we take out all the components so that we prepare them, and then consequently we will install them on the CBR 650R.
Unpack a bit.
Listen, Niccolo, I'm pulling out pieces, but there's something that doesn't look right to me.
Then I'll explain it to you. Basically, Spark's friends for this model of bike, both the CB650 and the CBR650R, develop different exhaust lines. Some low passage, some high passage. And given the collaboration with them for the Tune It Up series, they decided to send me the entire lineup of exhausts for the CBR 650R.
But we do it just for...
There's good news and bad news. The good news for them at home.
I've already figured it all out.
The bad news is for you.
I have to assemble all three of them.
So basically,
Don't make me make ugly gestures.
so on one hand, you said something right, on the other, not totally right. Because let me explain. They sent us for the Scream, which is this silencer here. Both the approved version that is still inside this box.
Yeah, okay, so catalyzed.
Catalyzed, approved, precisely Euro 4, Euro 5, this Euro 5, both the non-catalyzed version, which precisely with this hand-welded snail here, all in titanium.
Really beautiful anyway, all connected like this.
You can't say anything about that, but when it heats up, you have to see how it all turns purple and bluish. The collectors, and here is the good news that you will surely like, the collectors remain.
Then it's a rip-off. Ah, they remain the same.
The collectors remain the same. So what changes is simply the central part of the entire exhaust system. Either you opt for the version with the Euro 5 approved catalytic box, or you put the version
Criminal.
not even approved in Bangladesh, but there's a but.
But there's a but. Come on.
We really, since the bike is destination.
Truck?
Do you think this stuff here is for the track?
No.
Let's say that.
It's also a middle ground.
A little bit, surely the approved system with the resonator is not something for the track. In fact, Spark designed it for urban city use. The low version, which is not approved, could be for track use. But you teach me that a track exhaust requires a length and also a particularly facilitated pipe passage.
They need to be studied. And anyway, they are connected. In a certain way, obviously, sure. There is a study behind it that goes...
So the good but the bad news is the fact that we will install these. We will try them to make them feel to them.
So we have to disassemble the collectors by force, however.
We then disassemble the collectors as they will not be installed.
Curse? If you can say.
But we will install this other one, which I won't show you, until Roberto has finished the installation and the sound test of this shout.
Happy birthday to me.
Full download Grido installed. I would say that the honor belongs to Roberto.
Well, let's make it go. Obviously, it's temporarily mounted, huh? Sure, in the sense that if someone has been attentive and has seen some steps, like the little face, some bolts, so it's temporary, I have to disassemble it right away.
Euro 5 approved exhaust with the DB killer inserted as well. Removable from the non-external part because, as you can see, there is the grid, but from the internal one. So it could also be removed. However, since we are showing the approved exhaust and hearing it in the approved version at 100%.
It also makes a comeback, huh?
I must say, for a fully approved exhaust, it's not bad at all, right?
So the discussion comes into play here because it's nice, right? If it sounds slightly more, but still within the acceptable terms, then it must be approved.
Now, away with the box, and we install the snail. Snail installed, system now no longer approved. TB killer removed. I step back, fire to the powders.
And, well,
If his name is Grido there, must be a reason. So?
well, then this is the one I think is suitable too.
Absolutely illegal. The noise can be heard miles away, but it must be said that, like Dye,
The snail really does make a pretty good impression.
exactly, the snail is definitely very beautiful aesthetically. It definitely makes its mark with the Greedo silencer at the sound level. However, with the DB killer, it could be used for road use.
It muffles it a little bit.
If you can't find the patrol.
Expert.
Too much of an expert? What definitely does not clash with the snail and with the low exhaust in general is the racing track fact. So, Robbie, second unpacking of the day, go, let's move to that package up there.
And we discover the definitive version indeed.
I think you've never seen this before.
No, I've never seen it. Yes, you can see a slightly different shape, but it's a really exaggerated preview.
Konix Evo ready for assembly, the truly evolved version of Konix, what you've also seen installed on my RSV4. Spark, he sent me this new updated model which has a slightly different shape with a slightly cut end and a carbon base.
Very racing and very mean.
It fits very well. I'm eager to see the bench performance as Spark has consistently impressed us recently.
Now. So far, they've always made a good impression.
He's satisfied us. Obviously, in the package, Robbie, you'll find something that will make you think.
Yes, because we've seen in other situations the exhausts, however they are approved, catalytic and all that jazz. And here instead we have a story.
There's a nice gutter. Obviously, all of it free, not catalyzed, but in packaging, since we want to do things properly, and this will be a bike that will mainly run on the road, but also on the track. We will give the catalyzed and therefore approved piece to Davide, who can switch it at his pleasure.
He also mentioned the stamped approval.
Exactly, he can switch it whenever he wants. Clearly, we will do the mapping with Roberto on the completely free version. Also because in the end, in terms of performance, it will change a little something with the catalyzed version because it will be a bit more blocked, but it will not ruin the bike anyway.
No, nothing gets ruined. Let's say that then, in the mapping phase, it is about making the carburation not contiguous.
Okay, so then with a catalyst or possibly B, we always have good linearity.
The sound may shift slightly towards the rich side due to increased engine strain.
Sure. Spark, gentlemen, I'm also waiting for the KONIX EVO for my RSV4.
Let's update.
Whenever you want, I'm ready with Roberto to mount it.
He's in.
Exhaust installed. It's nice to be nice.
Beautiful. Let's hear it.
And go. That Chifo doesn't do anyway. Respect another story first. I didn't expect this result. It's gotten a bit gloomy. Obviously, it doesn't make the mess that Giacomo's Panic did for obvious reasons. But even this time around, I'd say the result is positive. So launch completed, map written successfully. We've arrived, I think, to the definitive. What results do we have?
So let's compare the launch we did earlier. Yes, so the one with the full MIV with the map dedicated to the filter, yes. So what changes now is the exhaust, exactly. The filter remained the same, but there is the optimization of the map on our part. And so we are going to compare the two curves, where initially we had 86 and 6, and this is the change. Let's say that in this way I have chewed quite a few. I am particularly pleased with the fact that already from 5,005, 5,008, we start to get a great push. So much so that at 6,000 revolutions, we have differences of 3 horses. While on the peak, we can notice that we have touched 92, we can say 91 and 98. And we go to analyze the engine torque graph, where we better understand the thrust. Here's where there was this flexion. Now it's not there. We have gained something more down here, but if we go, let's say, to see and analyze the curve well, we have here a beautiful crescendo. I stop without delivery hose until reaching its maximum peak, and then the decay. I'm especially pleased with Spark's work. How does it perform? It has a nice line. I hope the owner is also happy.
So knowing Davide, he will definitely have to tell me something about the lack of flames torches at the exhaust. It's worth noting that it used to flicker before because the map, as we've seen, was particularly lean in terms of carburation.
In some points it was not the best.
While now we can show the carburation graph. So we make a comparison with that. Here it is.
Exactly, we say.
Red is the initial state the motorcycle arrived in. Green is the state it leaves in.
For those unfamiliar, let me clarify. Where is this thin red line located? When the curve rises above the thin line, the engine runs lean. When it dips below, it runs rich. This is not a strict rule. Keep it in that area, but make it as linear as possible. The difference is noticeable and important.
The motorcycle discharges around the bench just now as we do it.
No, because we take advantage of the fact that the motorcycle is on the bench, because it was left hanging. One thing?
Gear adjustment, that's right, we have the key shifter.
Exactly. So we download the app now, we set up the Bluetooth, and we go to put the parameters, those suggested by the application. Or we have the possibility to go and make a specific calibration, even gear by gear. So we have a myriad, let's say, of functions, settings. In addition to that, we also have the possibility to save our profile. So maybe we can try more than one.
Let's see what runs better.
Let's jump right in without making further changes and decide which one to use. Obviously, the advice I give you, since we are perhaps talking about a road start, to preserve the gear, maybe we shouldn't abuse too much with the cutting times, because otherwise then...
Too low.
Exactly, because otherwise the gear suffers a bit. We've entered, we've connected, now we're going to click on Guided Setup. Here it tells us to position the bike on the rear stand. Let's go ahead. This is the revolutions per minute reading. It must be perfectly aligned with what we read on the bike. So in this case, we have about 1,200, 1,300 revolutions per minute. Base shows 2005. So with these buttons, we're going to change the radio. Exactly. So with a +2, maybe too much. Here they are. We have the correct laps. Let's go ahead. Here we can check if the sensor works exactly. So let's speed up the bike a bit. Let's go ahead. You may have noticed that the control unit works because there is a power cut. Let's go ahead. Let's set up how to make the electronic shift work. They recommend from 3,000 laps onwards. I want to move it a bit higher. Because anyway, when we use the electronic shift, since it's a component used for the racing sector, the good cut we have maybe from 6,000, 7,000 laps onwards. When we use the shift at lower speeds, we feel the jolt in the back. So it's preferable to use it higher. Let's move on with the configuration. We need to look for the maximum threshold as a limiter. So we're going to glimpse the red zone on the dashboard, which in the case of this CBR bike, we have it around 12,500 revolutions, 13,000 revolutions. So we're going to lower this threshold. Let's move on. And now we need to see the load we have on the leverage. This slider must travel less than 70 to 80% onwards. So what do? We pull the clutch lever 2-3 shots and we see that that slider must reach, I'm not saying 100%, but it must get almost close. Let's move on. And this is a 4-cylinder, and we have as a suggestion as a cut 80 milliseconds, which I think is perfect for road use. Now we use the bench to test if everything is functioning normally.
So we come to the end of this third episode of the second season of the Tune It Up series. I, as usual, thank Emoto Garage, specifically the good national Robertone.
Thank you.
As usual, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Then, with the red button below, activate the bell so you don't miss the next episodes of the Tune It Up series. Comments and likes are a must. Let us know your thoughts. And if you often have a CBR, let us know if it's modified and how much it's loaded so we can see if we are on track or not.
Exactly.
Then share the video. In short, we've told you everything from Green Arrow, Roberto Emoto Garage is all bye-bye, guys, bye.